All right, Professor, we're back. Finally with Project Milestone 3. Um, as you can see, my tank still exists. In a second, I will show you my AI exists. Ignore the random generation. I will go over that later. I just want to show you everybody still exists. Um, AIs are having a problem on the generation map, but not on the test map. I don't know if it's the amount of AI that are spawning or what's going on, but as you can see, they're functioning weird for some reason. On the other map, they can attack me and stuff, but they still exist. Everybody's moving around to waypoints or getting stuck in my horrid maze or on each other because collision detection is fun. Um, so yeah. Okay, there's all of that. Oh, those sounds. So they still exist. Not now, but they are. They're in the game. When it hits play, they spawn. They are there. So next, you saw it. You saw it once. Now here it is again. Random generation. Um, where's my where's my map generator? I got the I got the random generation going on. Oh wait, you know what? Actually, this is a great time to see what happens when I just hit play. Okay, so I have my preset seed going on. So we're just gonna leave that and check is random. Now I've got my random generation going on. So you can see the seed changing from map seed. I have a map of the day seed too. Um, that is unchanging for now. So we got all of that. We got that random generation going on. Um, I will frequently be looking back to this. So here's 3+ tiles. I used the regular room one. And then I used a cube field that I made. The just walls one, if you can see it way back here, is just walls. Yeah, why did I do that? Wow, why did I do that? Okay. Anyway, and then I have a just spheres one, which you've seen. Those are the four. The list size can increase if they add more, whatever. I've got adjustable rows and columns, room height, room width. We got all that going on. So if I change, I haven't done this before. So wait, did you say width and height can be changed? Okay, it can be changed, but I don't think you want to do that with this one. Let's just see what this does, I guess. Yeah, it'll make them all spaced out weird. I mean, I too love falling off the map. Woo! So it can be changed. But we're gonna set that back before I forget. Because we like to not fall off of our maps. So, there's that. Now let's start with the. I'm gonna kind of do all of these sort of at the same time. Um, so by clicking is random map, you can basically trigger a boolean, obviously, that will say it's true, and it uses the map seed, which is a random seed, to generate the map. If I unclick this and click map of the day, it'll use the map of the day, which is a less random seed because it will only change every day because we're only looking at the year, month, and day for that one. So and then if you have none checked, it will use the preset seed. Now if it has both checked, it uses the map of the day first. And that's just because map of the day is first in the logic. I guess I could have switched it around so that it always uses random. So at least if it breaks, it's just random somehow. But even then, I don't know if it would have to break just right to do that or not. So let us continue to the explanation. So here's my booleans for that. I got a ints for all of my map seeds under the header map seed. Then here's all the map room information. I got an array of room prefabs that I showed you and all that I already showed you too. So at the beginning, what is this? We set our map. We set both of our map seeds and generate the map at start. That's this function, obviously. Um, this is a function I'll go over right now, actually. Forget it. So we call date to int because with the seed it has to be an int, and the date is not an int. So what we do is we add up everything that is associated with a date all the way down to the millisecond. And that's what gives us our random number. And we go all the way down to the millisecond because if we don't ever want it to be possible for this same number to come up twice. So if we did the second, if somebody was unbelievably fast, incomprehensibly fast, maybe they could get the same map twice. That's what I take from it. So we go all the way down to milliseconds. And then for map of the day, all we do is we chop off everything after day. So we only add up the year, month, and day. And that's why we get the same generation every single day. It's pretty cool. And while I'm down here, my random room prefab function, all it does is it returns a random room prefab in that list. And we do that by using random dot range, set it to 0, and room prefabs dot length. And yeah, that's how we do that. I was thinking if maybe it needs to be length -1, but to be honest with you, I'm just gonna ask you it during the polish up phase. So basically what we do is we, for each int I, well, we go a basic for loop. So we get an integer I, set it to 0, and we say if I is less than rows, increment I. And as long as we're doing that, we're going to do this stuff. But we also do that for j. As long as j is less than columns, we're going to increment j. And this is how we find the location. The x position is just room width times j, because that's our width. And the z position is just room width times height. If there's a 2D game, I assume that would be y position equals room height. But since the height here seems to be how long it is or goes up across the z-axis, that's what we're using. So, but we make that into a vector. We make a vector called new. I made a vector called new position, new pos, because new position is way too long. So then I just set the x and z values. Well, I set the y to 0 too, but I set the x and z values equal to whatever x pos and z pos is. And then we make a game object called temp room, instantiate a room. And what it is, it's instantiate a room, which we choose from a random room prefab by calling a random room prefab function. We set its position equal to new position, and then we set its rotation with Martian. And I'm pretty sure identity is just like, well, the shell said not to worry about quaternion, but I'm pretty sure this sets the rotation just like normal. It's just all zeros. I'm gonna look that up. But anyway, then we get its parent object. We get its parent's transform. We set its parent's transform to this transform. I think that's just making sure that the room's transform is that. So then it is, so we don't get any like weird things from our rooms, weird positions or anything like that. Then we name it something meaningful, and here we just took the rows and columns and smashed them together into a name, so you get basically a coordinate of where it is. Um, then we make a new object called temp room, which is just our temp room objects and its component room, which is the script we put on all of these. Um, then we're gonna do some door magic. So if our row is equal to 0, we're in the bottom row. So we're gonna set the north door to false, the active to false, so that it's not active, it's open. We're gonna do the same with the top row, and how we get the top row is we just set I. We just say if I is equal to rows minus 1. There you go. And that's that. And we're gonna go through the same with the columns, except it's gonna be east and west. So if it's not any of these two, either of these two, we're in the middle. So we're gonna just take out both doors. Now we're gonna go through the west and the east doors, and because we have to use J, because it's columns. So if J is equal to 0, we're all the way to the east, because that's our first column. So we're gonna set our east door, or we're all the way to the west. So we're gonna set our east door to false, which just gets rid of it. And then here, if we're all the way in the last column, which is just the column length minus 1, we're going to set our west door to false because we don't want people wandering off the east side of the map. And the west door needs to be open so you can get to all those other rooms. And then if we're not either of those, we're somewhere in the middle, so we're going to open both the east and west doors by setting them back to false. And then we just put the grid in the array using the I that we made earlier. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be IJ. Don't know why it says II. Then I already explained all that. That's my random room generation. That's how it opens all the doors and builds the level. And the tiles aren't set at level. Well, I guess I did set the enemy spawners. And they all handle their own spawning. So that's why I get this weird spawning that I see. So I guess when I polish it up, I'll have to go through and do one of those int random things for the enemy spawners in the game manager. But right now the spawning is handled on the spawner. Which I could move in a few minutes. But I'm already doing the video, so I'm not going to. But that's why I get this bull rush, because there's only 40 enemies. So all 40 that can spawn right away do. And then these other spawners up on the top just have nothing. And I still cannot figure out why they act so weird on this level. It's because of this hearing thing. I don't know if they're hearing the walls, but it's supposed to take in a player, but I just said game object. So they could be hearing the walls. But they're doing weird stuff when they come here. But they do hear me and they can look at me. And actually, the only person here running with updated code is the red one. I forgot to go back and change it on the prefabs. But of course, this only red one that's here is freaking out against the wall. So if you let them go for a little bit, they don't really act well in this random environment. Just for giggles and stuff, I'm going to go over here and show you that the AI can hear me. He turns to me and he shoots and fires at me. And this is the updated Blinky. And then if I die here, I go over here. You see I went to this spawn point. There's actually 2 player spawn points on the map. Sometimes I go down there. Sometimes I spawn up here. I could die again. But my dying function is working weird. It's not minusing my lives, and it's not taking my health back up to 100, so I can't die again and really test that right now. And I'm assuming that is just something in here. Whoa, 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 whoa. I just exposed myself. Something in here is happening weird when I call these other functions inside player death. They're not happy about it. I really don't know why they're not happy about it, but they're not. It worked in my platformer, but they weren't taking in any objects, the player death. It was just, which is maybe what I need to do. Then I would have to do more get components and checking, but that would be all right. So I have a random AI spawn point. If you watch this every single time, um, which unfortunately I have a spawn time of like 20 seconds or something because I didn't want the player to get overrun with AI. Because even the amount of AI I have spawning here is absolutely ridiculous. Maybe I need to lower it. But yeah, for some reason when they spawn in here, they're not happy. And I also need to make it so they stop rotating towards the waypoint on the y-axis. Or, yeah, they need to stop rotating towards the waypoint. But see, once they all go up to go to some waypoint up here, I'm sure if I clicked on one, oh, hello, pickup spawner, it would tell me where it's trying to go, waypoint 1. Oh, you know what? These waypoints don't have meaningful names. So who knows? Oh, there. Maybe it's too close to the wall. Nope. So for some reason, these walls are not okay, but my other walls are. So forget doing that. The power-ups, they spawn. This I think is the first one with the power-ups. But I'll keep my player thing opened here. I don't actually have them expiring on a timer, but they spawn. The damage, the red box, is permanent. Um, I don't know if I have a list of power-ups on my game manager. Oops. But as you can see, blue is ammo box, which really just makes you shoot faster. Ooh. There we go. So they're not happy when they die. To be honest with you, they're not dying right now. They were earlier. But oh, there's a damage one. So if you watch over here, which I hope you watched for the shot, because all the ammo box really does is lower your shot timer delay. Um, but if you watch my damage, oh, that's why nobody's dying. How much is that going up by every time I pick something up? So I'm gonna watch my damage this time, because it was working last time. And hopefully like a speed power up will spawn. That would I picked one up on accident last time. For some reason the power ups only spawn in this room. Okay, so yellow boxes are speed. If you see I pick it up, I go faster. If you look over in the inspector, my movement speed will go down after a while. See, it went back down. And then if you watch here, when I pick up this blue box, my shot timer delay will actually get minus by 1. And that's why I can just go around and spray bullets. Huh. That's funny. Alright, well. So now let's watch damage. See, Nan. Oh, you know what? That's what's happening. So ever since I changed to player pawn, um, my stuffs hasn't been happy. And I don't really know what's going on with that, because it's a new thing I just saw today when I was testing my spawn points. Um, but something is happening. I can't, in my controller, I can't say class pawn pawn and then have it automatically get the player pawn. It doesn't like to do that. Um, Not exactly sure why it doesn't like to do that, but it doesn't. So if we look at my damage right now, okay, it doesn't say Nan. Oh, you know what's happening? Huh. Okay, did a power? So it's going back to Nan, I think, when the ammo box goes off. So, um, I can't. I guess I can pick that up. That was a health box. I'm trying not to pick up an ammo box. I really don't want that to happen. Again, without showing you my permanent. Ooh, did you see that? He went into his chase and fire state. Can I recreate that? I cannot. Okay, I'm just messing around now. Instead of doing that again, we're actually going to go into Game Manager, unlock this really quick, and we're just going to say 10 seconds here. Actually, forget that. I want them to just be spawning all the time. And I'm just going to tell it that 20 is the max power-ups that we can have. Okay, so apparently enemies are using that same spawn thing, and I thought I changed that, but I guess I didn't. So now let's get through this field of power-ups. Let's click on the player pawn again and look at damage. It's 25 right now. Now it's 50. Now it's 100. So it just multiplies it by 2. And if you look, I'll wait here and it will never go away. Because it's marked as. Let me see if I can find one. Okay, let's click on a damage box. Interesting. I swore I had that as is permanent. Okay, so since I already made it, and you're watching me fumble here anyway, we're just gonna say that's permanent. That's why. Because for some reason that's set to 0. Yeah, you don't want to have multiplicative things set to 0. That would definitely. And this should be as permanent too, because it's a health box. I don't want you just not getting health. So I don't want it taking away your health. So we'll go back here. Is permanent. Click on player. Boom. And now if you watch, you'll never lose it. I can just sit here forever. We'll never lose it. And that is because and as you can see in my game manager, that spawn delay changes how much, like, let me see if it'll, ever since I moved all of that to the, no, it's respawning. See, another one spawned right there. You can just watch that other screen and it will all be okay. And as you can see, my damage somehow 0. Look, I picked up something again. That gave me a damage of 0. And 0 times 2. Oh, it was the health. 1. Okay, so let's save that. But also, if I could take damage, I'd be able to show you that the health is permanent too. But my AI wants to be weird. So, well, it's the way I programmed them. I'm sorry, guys. So, let's pick up a yellow one. If you watch the move speed right here, it goes up. Whoa, it gets a little crazy. In fact, it gets so fast that I can't collide with it. See, now it went back down. I have 150 damage still, so I will one-shot any of these guys. Or I guess two-shot. So, the damage is always super high, especially if you keep picking up damage buffs, but it also gets really deadly if the enemies are always doing it too. And I know this can cause weird things, like my damage could probably get up to infinity, which I did when I was messing around. But I don't actually, did it call for it here? So power-ups affect players and can be set to expire after X seconds. Um, so here's the power-up duration. It's set to 10. You saw that go off with this. I was shooting a bunch of bullets and then I wasn't. And that's basically what does that. And the duration reset is I found that I had to set the duration to 10 again, or else it wouldn't go back up to 10, which was, I actually don't think I need that. I forget why I added that back in there and reset the duration each time. Because the item gets destroyed. But, oh no. No. Yeah, maybe that's what it was. But yeah, that's my power up time to where it ends after a certain amount of time. Obviously you see it floating around in here. My game manager exists. It allows easy access to a lot of stuff, actually. Um, it has a list of players, so you could technically from the list of players get anybody's stuff. I don't have a second player in there yet. I haven't done the multiplayer yet. I have a second player ready, but I haven't added in the split screen and stuff. So yeah, it the max number of enemies, power ups, the enemy spawn delay, the power up, which I need to look at that again because that was really weird that I set the enemies should not have changed with that. So something is still weird in my code. Um, Look, game manager.instance enemy spawn delay. It shouldn't have reacted to that other spawn delay. Here it is. Okay. So, yep. Oh, I guess I need to have a list of all power-ups spawned. So if I go into my game manager and I look, I have something for power-up. But if I remember correctly, which who knows, I was pretty sure that it used that specific power-up for something. So let's go into our scripts and go up to our power-up manager. So it doesn't, I'll fine tune that. To be honest, this video has gone on long enough and I have to rewatch it. So next week, next week you'll see it, and I'll see you Thursday, Professor. So have a good day.